Guys, I uploaded this video here to my YouTube channel 3 days ago. Warning, Israel prepares for war with Iran and Hezbollah, World War III, inflation, and U.S. troops involved. And that's exactly what's going to happen. We see it escalating now. I'm going to get into that here in a minute. Are you ready for a major war in the Middle East? And you can see here that it's definitely escalating. Fire and fury, fears of all-out war after Israel assassinates Hamas chief in airstrike, and Iran vows we have a duty to avenge him. And this assassination of this guy right here by Israel was carried out inside of Iran. It was carried out in the capital of Iran, Tehran. So that is a huge escalation when you have, I'd be like Russia carrying out an assassination in Washington, D.C. It'd be pretty much the same thing. How would the United States respond to such an attack? I mean, it is unprecedented. But the big question is, how did Israel carry this out? They had to have really good intelligence to carry this out. They had to know exactly where this guy was at, because they hit, from what my understanding is, they hit the building where he was at. They killed him, some of his family members, some of his grandchildren, I think that it was. So they knew exactly where he was at. And you know that the capital of Iran would have had the best air defenses that they have to protect the capital. You know they got everything set up the best they possibly have to defend Iran and Tehran, the capital city. But yet, Israel knew exactly where he was at and actually got through. And I think it was a drone strike, so the drone got through all the defenses and assassinated this guy without Iran being able to stop that. You can imagine how embarrassed the leadership in Iran is right now. This happened in their capital city. Israel carried this out. And they also had another assassination of one of Hezbollah's top leaders, and that was in Beirut, if I'm not mistaken. It was in Beirut. So they took out two top leaders in like 24 hours. So things are definitely escalating. And now Iran says they're going to take revenge. So what are they going to actually do? It remains to be seen. Are they going to do another missile and drone barrage like the last time to keep face is what that was about? I said that also right after that happened when Iran attacked Israel with the drones, and I think it was like 300 missiles and drones. I said the day of that or the day after that attack that had to be coordinated with the United States and Iran to let that happen to save face for Iran, or that it showed complete incompetence because they pretty much didn't strike anything inside of Israel, didn't really do a whole lot of damage. I think they hit a runway or something like that, maybe in a couple of little small buildings taken down, and minor damage out of 300 drones and missiles shot from Iran into Israel. So I said then it was a coordinated attack to save face, to keep from escalating, and they thought the tensions would die down, but instead, here we are again. Now Israel attacks inside of Iran, inside of Tehran, and takes out this guy here, this Hamas leader. And like I said, they also took out a Hezbollah leader. So it's obvious that peace in the Middle East isn't going to be a thing. That, in my opinion, is something not to even consider happening now at this point. I don't think it's going to happen whatsoever at all. I would say that this will keep escalating and escalating until it goes into, a full-blown war between Iran, Israel. Hamas already is in a war. Hezbollah, Syria could get involved. I mean, Turkey, Egypt. I mean, who knows at this point who else is going to get involved in this war? But you can bet 100%, more than likely, almost a guarantee, that the United States will be dragged into this. And if you look at the best case scenario, like I said in my video the other day, and nothing happens whatsoever with the United States actually getting involved with boots on the ground, or actually gets involved with our support, or anything like that. The United States stays out of it, and the war still spreads and breaks out between Iran and Israel. This Strait of Hormuz is going to be a major issue for the United States, and thus here it's going to affect us directly here in the United States. I lost my page. Where was that here? All right, there we are. This is a major oil transport route, and this more than likely will be closed off. In the United States, when this is closed off, the United States Navy will go in to try to keep this open and these shipments of oil coming through. The waterways separate Iran, Oman, linking the Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. The strait is 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, but the shipping lane is just 2 miles, 3 miles wide in either direction. The U.S. Energy Information Administration estimated that 18.5 million barrels per day of seaborne oil passed through the waterway in 2016, and it's probably close to that now, and it's huge as far as our economy goes and gas prices go, because if this war breaks out, and it looks like it's exactly what's going to happen, this right here will be one reason the United States will use to get involved, because this will most likely, just about a guarantee, be closed down, and the oil shipments out will probably completely stop, or at least be bottlenecked down to a fraction of what they are now. So that's going to be huge on our economy here in the United States, because everything is centered around oil. We could be drilling our own oil and producing our own oil here domestically, but it's not going to happen with this current administration, because they are into green energy. However, they want to buy oil from somewhere else, from the Middle East and other countries. They want to get oil from other countries. How is that green? How is that environmentally friendly when they're just doing it somewhere else instead of doing it here in the United States? But they put us where we are vulnerable to things like this and dependent on oil from outside sources. And when this is closed off, the gas prices, diesel prices, oil prices are going to skyrocket here in the United States. Guaranteed, they will skyrocket. I mean, they hit $5, $6, maybe even $10 a gallon when this does happen. And when that happens, it's not going to just be gasoline at the pump that's going to be affected. It's going to be essentially everything we buy, because everything is shipped. Everything that's manufactured, shipped around the country, relies on the oil prices. And when the oil stops or slows way down, it's going to affect us all. So you think this is Israel. It is Israel. It is Iran. Let them all kill each other. Who cares? That's what a lot of people say. And where I can see why you would feel that way, this is going to affect us here in the United States, because of the way our government relies on oil from other places like the Middle East. And these tensions will definitely close this Strait of Hormuz off, in my opinion, or if it doesn't close all the way down, it will definitely slow it down. And this was the Hezbollah commander killed by Israel in Beirut. So you can see here, I mean, they took out two leaders in the last few days, two of the main leaders of Hezbollah, one of Hezbollah and one of Hamas. The one in Hamas happened right inside of Iran. I mean, that is amazing. That their defenses, and you know they had the best defenses that they have available to them up. And yet Israel was able to get in, know where the guy was at, and assassinate him without the Iranian defenses being able to stop that attack or that assassination. Extraordinary. This here is something else that a lot of people won't want to hear, because, you know, a lot of people in the United States, a lot of Christians in the United States support the Israeli government That's what they're supporting. They don't realize it, I don't think, a lot of times, but they are supporting the Israeli government. But they will support Israel no matter what they do. So a lot of people won't want to see this or hear this, but it goes to show that both sides can be barbaric, actually. Neither side, in my opinion, are innocent. But if you have things like this, alleged rape of Palestinian prisoner reveals stark divisions in Israel. If you have things like this happening, I mean, it shows the brutality of both sides, and I'm sure both sides are doing things like this. But this prisoner was a Palestinian prisoner inside an Israeli prison system, and they get arrested, no trial or anything like that, just arrested and thrown in prison by Israel, by the Israeli government. And what I read about this is 9 Israeli IDF soldiers who were guarding that prison raped this guy repeatedly, and so badly that his rectum was ripped open, and he had internal damage where he'd been raped so much while he was in prison. And I've read that this is common. I have seen articles where prisoners in Israel, Palestinian prisoners in Israel, are beaten, tortured, raped, like this happened right here. This was just one of the cases that actually came out now, because he had to go to a hospital with his rear end ripped open. And it's not just Israeli military, Israeli government officials and representatives that's doing things like this. I'm sure that the same thing happens on the other side, most likely. I've not seen it. I didn't see this either, but I read about it. I don't want to see this, but I'm sure it happens on both sides. Both sides can be definitely brutal, and we see this here. They want to kill each other, obviously. And this is definitely, in my opinion, to all this hate, all this religious tensions and things, everything going on right now, this is exploding. And within probably a couple more weeks, it will explode even more. It may be an all-out war in the region between Hezbollah, Iran, who knows if Turkey will get involved, Egypt. I mean, it is just ready to explode at any minute. And when it does, even if the United States doesn't get directly involved, which you know we will, we'll have boots on the ground more than likely. We always do. Our nose is stuck in everything. It will affect us because of the oil prices and inflation. If the United States government is funding another war, we've been funding Israel for a long time, but if we go and get involved directly in this, plus funding Israel, they're going to print more money. The United States already passed, officially, it's actually much higher than this, but officially it's $35 trillion. A couple of days ago we passed that $35 trillion mark, and we're adding $1 trillion, I think it is, every 2 months here in the United States to the national debt. That will increase if this war breaks out here, and it looks like it's going to. And either way, even if the United States isn't directly involved, the boots on the ground, we'll be funding it. You know the United States is going to be printing money to buy weapons to send to Israel to fund this war. And more than likely, like I said, the United States will be involved in this war directly when it does break out into a wider war, which is obvious is what's going to happen. Unless a miracle comes in and stops this somehow. That's the only way this is going to not spread out into a wider war. It's going to involve pretty much everyone. If the United States gets involved and attacks Iran directly, what's Russia going to do? What is China going to do? What happens with North Korea and South Korea? I mean, we're on the edge, man. We're on the edge of World War III breaking out and being millions of people dead. Could go nuclear. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to, I don't know, but it definitely could. I mean, look at what's happening right now. But at the very least, like I said, our gas prices are going to go sky high. Oil prices are going to go up, so gas prices will go up, diesel prices will go up, and thus price at the pump will go up for us here, the consumers, and everything else also, because it takes more money to ship everything, it takes more to manufacture everything, and we will be the ones paying for it. And all the more money printing to support these wars. It's going to cause more inflation, so you'll be paying more because of inflation also. So it's definitely not good, guys. Definitely not good at all. And I think that's the latest article is going to show. But guys, if you can, do more. Prepare more. Prep harder. I know money's tight for just about everyone. It is for me also. I don't make much here on YouTube. I need to do a video about how much I make here on YouTube. You'd be embarrassed for what I make here on YouTube, to be honest about it. Very, very little. If you want to see a video about how much I make here on YouTube with 84,000 subscribers, let me know in the comments below, and I'll make a video about how much I make here on YouTube. You will be shocked. You will be embarrassed for me doing this. You will say, why does he get on here and risk himself by showing, this face and saying things like I say here on YouTube? Why would I risk that and all the consequences that could come with doing this for piddly pocket change? But I do it because I'm trying to get people to prepare. I get frustrated, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I want to pull a little bit of hair I have left out of my head dealing with people, because people, you try to help people, you try to tell people how things actually are, and you will get attacked, you will be threatened. I've had a guy one time threaten to come and rape me. And like I told him, if you can take it, you can have it if you can take it. But you're going to have to take it. And that's not going to be so easy. Threats, insults, people backstabbing. I mean, it is horrible on YouTube. No one really understands how bad that it is. And when you get more subscribers, the more you get attacked. Unfortunately, that's the way that it goes. The more you get attacked. And if you talk about politics, if you talk about the presidential election, if you talk about the Bible, Scripture, if you talk about Israel, anything like that, you will be attacked here on YouTube. You will be attacked mercilessly and repeatedly. But here I am trying to help. So guys, do what you can. Money's tight for me too. Like I started out trying to explain, I got off on a rabbit trail there. You want to do everything you can right now to prepare. If you have empty gasoline cans, diesel cans, whatever you need, get all those filled to the top. Keep your tank and all your vehicles filled. If you have tractors, keep that filled. Your mowers, keep those filled. Keep everything, all your tanks filled up with gasoline or diesel. You might want to go out and buy some oil and some filters to be able to keep the oil changed in your vehicles for, say, a year. Depending on how much you drive and things, you'll be driving less when gas prices are higher. So you might want to get a couple of oil changes, enough oil to change the oil in your vehicle a couple of times, oil filters and things like that, because who knows how high the price is going to go, and you're going to need it anyway sooner or later. You have to change the oil anyway, so you might as well go ahead and buy it and have it put back in case it's difficult to get, or in case the price goes to astronomical levels. Food storage, you know that already. Just do what you can to get prepared, because it's going to get worse, in my opinion, very, very quickly here. We will see this escalate even more. We won't see the price at the pump right then. It'll probably take a couple of weeks. We'll start seeing that go up. And then at some point, it's going to skyrocket. I mean, we may be paying $6, $7, $8, $10 a gallon for gasoline. Hopefully this is not the case. Hopefully this gets settled. Hopefully this calms down. But the West looking, I don't see it, because you have right here a Hamas leader assassinated by Israel inside Iran in the capital. You have high-ranking Hezbollah leader assassinated in Beirut. I mean, it's escalating. I mean, look at what's going on now. It is definitely escalating. And I think it's going to continue to escalate until all-out war happens. And oil shipments are going to be bottlenecked from the region or completely stopped. I mean, and prices will go up here dramatically, in my opinion, on everything. And more than likely, we will get directly involved. Like I said, who knows what Russia's going to do. Russia might stay out of it. Russia might give Iran more advanced weapons. They probably already have. I know if I was Vladimir Putin, and Iran was my ally in the Middle East, I would already have given them advanced weapon technology. But we also see that whatever they have didn't stop Israel from getting that drone through and assassinating this guy here. So who knows how advanced they are right now. That shows their defenses might not be that great, or either Israel is using something that is really high tech that they can't stop. They can't detect on their radars and things, or can't stop and hit the target inside of Iran. Anyway, comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that and give the video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore Matter, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.